started it?
Yes.
Okay. So I'm going to interview, it's for a project about dyslexia. And so is there anything, first I want you to just describe dyslexia in your own words.
I transpose letters and numbers. If I'm writing the, I might probably write it T-E-H. Or if I'm writing 78, it might be 87. Things like that.
Okay. So is dyslexia part of your daily life?
Yes.
How is it part of your daily life?
Well, I have a friend who used to work for me, used to say she reads earning E's. Because my spelling's bad. I read and I spell about 6th grade level.
Okay. Do you belong to any special organization for dyslexia?
Not really, but in college I had to take classes besides my regular classes so I could take classes.
Okay. And did you study or teach anything related to dyslexia?
No.
No? Okay. Do you teach Julie and Kristen to make sure your children get important lessons about dyslexia or awareness?
No, I just put it in private school, make sure that they got the best education possible.
Okay. Do you ever feel judged because of your dyslexia?
Not particularly. I'm what you would call a functional handicap per se. In college, the classes I had to take were through the handicap program that they had at school. I even had a handicap placard to park in a handicap parking spot. My problem over most guys is that I don't stutter, don't look like I have a problem. So therefore teachers would forget that I had dyslexia, or I would get the teacher that was helping me in a class because I have dyslexia, help other kids because I could pretty much do most of the work myself. Was 1 year, I'd go in there, they'd help me for a week, and after that I would probably never see them again because they'd be helping other kids with more severe problems than me.
Okay. And have you ever had judgmental comments made about dyslexia with a job interview, like you have to report that?
No.
No? Okay. So now I'm going to ask you a little bit about your school experiences. Did you complete all or part of your K-12 schooling?
All.
All? And in the U.S.?
Yes.
How successful were you in school?
I had probably a CFC 2.3 average.
Okay. How easy or hard was it to understand the information?
Hard.
Hard. And then what was their specific learning style, like hands-on or visual or auditory?
When I was doing it, no. I was in special classes, but they really didn't no one really told me what I exactly had if I was in college. And that was actually when I was graduating.
So how did you get along with your teachers through school?
Okay, they just thought I should work harder.
Did they think you were lazy, or did they acknowledge the problem?
They really didn't know it. No one. My time was a time where they really just said, "Oh, you learn slower," and they really didn't put any kind of emphasis on trying to learn you to teach you anything better. It wasn't until I got in college that they actually said, "Oh no, you can't take any classes till you go here and do tests and things like that."
And then how did you get along with your peers?
Well, didn't have any problems at all.
Okay. And was there anyone else in the school that affected you or helped you, like with administrators or your bus driver?
Not particularly. It wasn't until I got in college that they were more helpful. I think the basic problem is they didn't understand things like they would say, and I would say, I don't know how to spell this word, can you spell it for me? They go look it up in a dictionary, and I would say, I'm looking at them like, how am I gonna look up it in a dictionary when I only know it's maybe it starts with a D?
Yeah.
And then you want me to sound it out, and even if I did sound it out, you know, I might have the letters backwards or forwards or whatever, and I didn't know that was the problem at the time, but I could never really look up a word in a dictionary because they said look it up.
Were you ever a victim of like bullying or ridicule, or did people praise you because of? No. So just kind of reiterating, but did you have any positive, like a really good positive or negative experience with a teacher that stands out to you?
Not because of that. Actually, my last teacher, if I would have had that teacher in high school or beginning of college, I probably would have done a lot better at school. No one actually taught me how to write a paper. I don't know a verbal thing. And noun is a person, place, or thing, but I learned that from the TV. But other than that, I don't know noun from an adjective or pronoun. I don't know any of that. Punctuation, I just didn't know how to punctuate and write a sentence properly. And it wasn't until my last class that I had a teacher that actually taught me how to write a paper. We would take open book tests in school, and they would say it's going to be easy as open book tests, and I wouldn't know why it was easy. And this teacher said, this is how you take an open book test, this is how you find it, you need to find an open book test. So then I knew, I learned all this stuff in the beginning. People just assumed that I was taught this stuff, but I was not taught this stuff because in classes.
What advice would you give if you were a teacher, and your student had dyslexia? What advice would you give their family or a student?
You might not need to teach them a pronoun from an adjective per se, but you need to teach them how to structure a sentence, how to write a term paper, where to go, where to find the information, how to do an open book test by going to the back, finding the topic or the word that you're looking for so you can find the page where it's at and try to go over. They try to teach you the same stuff over and over again, and that doesn't necessarily work per se. I have never taken algebra. I've never taken English 1A or 1B in college, even though I have a 2-year degree. Things like that. Take the time to teach them the tools to work in other classes, all their classes, so they can write a paper fairly properly. I could write a paper and get a D on it. Have a friend say, I forgot to do this. I would write the paper with words that they knew how to spell that I didn't, because I would use 3 or 4 words to try to get my point across, where they would only need to use one. They were getting A's and B's on them, while I'm getting C's and D's on papers.
Do you feel that there were any rules, routines, or schedules or activities that didn't respect your dyslexia going through school?
I just don't think that when I was going, they really knew what was going on. They really didn't emphasize it. And because my biggest problem was I didn't look like I had a problem. When I walked into the college testing area, they looked at me and said, why are you here? And I told them. They told me I had to take a test. And they looked at me why. Well, I was been in special classes since I was in first and second grade. And they were going, yeah, right. Because I didn't stutter anymore. I was very articulate. But after I took the test, they were going, well, how did you pass high school? I go, I had a C. I was a B average my senior year, but I was taking a lot easier classes than probably most students. They didn't have the where you have to get a proficiency to pass
Oh,
high
the
school.
proficiency test.
Back when I did it.
Okay.
So I probably skated by because of that. And then they told me that even the way I was learning was, if I didn't know what some of the words were, I got enough out of what I was reading in the paragraph that I would substitute other words to make it sound right. So I was getting close to what needed to be said, but I wasn't getting everything. I mean, I could study all night for a test, a spelling test, and not pass it.
Do you think proficiency tests are fair? So today, would that be fair for dyslexics today?
Not necessarily. They learn different. We learn different. We learn more visually than by reading, or both, or by hearing. But there has to be a criteria. But I got better once you got to teach them to understand what they have. I function a lot better because after they told me this is what I do wrong, if somebody said you spelled something wrong, then I could go look at it. If I write it wrong, I don't recognize it. If somebody else does, I might. If I write it wrong, I don't recognize it.
Did you ever feel any of frustration, anxiety, tension, or any of them more prevalent?
In school?
In your schoolwork?
Yeah, when I was taking tests, I would kind of know something, or and not quite know how, or I would read how to spell it, so I'm trying to write words to get something on the thing so they understand what I mean.
No, that was me.
And wouldn't get it right, things like that.
And that caused frustration? Okay. Did you ever, in situational behaviors, did you ever feel uncomfortable answering a question in class, or taking a test? Were any of those situations uncomfortable for you?
Always, I never liked to try to answer a question unless I specifically knew it.
Okay. And how about group versus individual? Was it hard to function as part of your group in your classroom versus you as an individual?
It's probably easier as an individual than the classroom. I noticed that, like Chris and Julie and you, when you guys did homework and everything, you guys would come and do it together. I really never did that with people.
Okay. So it was easier to
Most of my friends weren't in a lot of my classes, so I never had that. And the few times that I did, I actually did really good in my work, or if it was like a debate or something, I was the spokesman and knew what to say when we were doing it. Somebody else might have done really most of the work. I remember one time we did a report in class, and I was the one doing most of the talking and everything else, and he was going to give up me and another guy an A, and he didn't want to give the couple girls that were working on the project the A's because he thought that they didn't participate too much, but they actually did. We told them that they did most of the work. They actually helped us find it, found everything, and they wrote it up, and they told us what to say. They just weren't good speaking in public.
And what was communication like with your teachers? Was that a barrier?
Yeah, not much. Like I said, most of them, I didn't know I had dyslexia, but I was supposed to go, every year I was supposed to go tell them that I had a reading handicap when I went in there and stuff, and I did, and they would just, because I was more illiterate than most of the people in the special classes I had, and didn't look like I had a problem, wasn't limping around, wasn't in a wheelchair or anything, they just kind of forgot about it. I just kind of was like overlooked for the most part.
Is there anything that you're proud of having dyslexia, or proud of being a spokesman, or maybe not so proud of?
Not particularly. It took me, 8 years to get through 2 years of college, and I really didn't